Hey guys, and welcome to this video. My name is Josh, aka Roger aka Beetlejuice. Server is done for all the smart asses that always write that shit in the comments. I do say at the start of every video, literally, I do say done. Server is done. Alright, so today's video is gonna be focused about something which I just acquired today. After I went inactive for a few weeks, a few months actually, I came back playing and I finally did my Gardens quest, and look what I just got. It's this thing. So for those of you that do not know what this is basically the newer upgraded version of your Exalted Ragnarok Rondel, or in this case of your Rogue's Offhand. This is called the FINGALS Edge of Finesse. No, finessing is always good. So when we compare these two, you see that the FINGALS Edge of Finesse adds 400 Shadow Strike damage and 1000 damage to Etheric Assault. Now what is Etheric Assault? Etheric Assault is the damage added by the skill from your Dark, Void or Shadow Blades, which are the Gillibrand daggers, which are a weapon for rogues. You can see the weapon displayed here. It's a really solid weapon, a really good weapon, but it just lacks attack speed, so for bossing it's great, though it does have some disadvantages over your regular ideal dagger. Before we continue with the video, the disadvantages I want to tell you guys pretty quick. And these are actually the ideal dagger adds way less damage, but it adds first off more attack, and it adds a divine strike skill, which means that you're hitting with divine strike, which is just some extra damage on your weapon, which is just something that hits on the bosses with Chaos Aura, and therefore it's a divine strike. These things were introduced, I do believe, with the don't let me lie, Warden weapons. Yeah, I do believe it was the Warden weapons. If it wasn't the Warden ones, then it should have been the Meteoric ones. But this was a proc skill that has been added with these. And also another small little add-on for the Dark Blade of Lunafrost, which is the Galley Dagger. It actually does add Dexterity, which is something the Exalted Rondel does not add. So overall, I would say the Dark Blade is better DPS-wise, but not better if you want to lock a boss quick, because Divine Strike can really hard to lock a boss. Before we continue, let me just look at if I ignored my clan here. Ah shit, yeah I did, but I think it's dead now. Fuck, I just started my recorder app. Probably missed that boss, I'm sorry if I did. So to get the Exalted Ragnarok Rondel is basically a lot easier than the FINGALS Edge of Finesse. The FINGALS Edge is usually going to take you like 7 or 8 weeks depending on your play times. Because it's coming from a Corrupted Gardens quest, and you need to kill a faction boss every week to acquire the echoes which are required for that weapon. To kill the faction boss, you also have to be at faction level 3, otherwise that quest is not even appearing in your quest, or at set quest giver. So you can see that the damage stats pretty much stayed the same, but now you do have Shadow Strike levels as well, which is really cool, because you don't have Shadow Strike levels on your Exalted Rondel. Then another advantage is the critical skills and the Poison Resist. Poison Resist is pretty good for this area, for Bloodthorn, but it's not as required as, say, critical skills. So there should be a lot more critical skills even on the basic one. I'm hoping that I can upgrade mine to tier 10 or tier 9 soon. Depends on when I can do that, so I can do another video about that stuff for you guys. And also be a lot better at boss fights. Now taking into account that it still adds 300 Chaos resistance, which is for a basic upgrade, it's not really good. Like, it basically has the same damage stats as your Ragnarok Rondel, and even though it is just the tier 8 version, it's an upgraded version and it should have a little bit more, which I don't get on OTM's or VR's side. These are the two developing teams. I think this update was made by One Time Mobile still. Now that the company developing the game is called Virtual Realms. They're based in Asia, whilst OTM was based in Scotland. Man, the guys at OTM, they were absolute legends. And if you guys did watch my beta video, when I was in the Corrupted Gardens beta, there were so many new offhands and main hands, but none of them made it into the game, and in the end what we got was this thing, which is really great. So now I will try to get the other one full in the next weeks, because there's 2 daggers, one in glowing red and one glowing yellow. I picked the yellow one because I do like Shadow Strike overall, and to maybe start a dex build sooner or later, depends on when I can trade these items I got in equipment for more dex stuff. One thing you can see is that I do already picked on the Shadow Strike and Dexterity one here. My chief asked me which one I would like, Strength or Dexterity, and I went for Dexterity because I think that attack is a lot more important than damage these days. Then I got these things from the clan as well. One of them is, I have these things since month, they're not new, just to clarify that pretty quick. One of them is adding damage, the other one is dexterity. Both of these are adding 500 dagger, which is pretty great, and as well as smoke bomb and poison weapon, and repose and lifesteal on the other ones. So poison weapon one is pretty important for me, and smoke bomb is cool to use at some bosses. As well, it is basically required at some endgame bosses. Then I use this ring, which a client of mine called Harry, he actually loaned me this one, which I do hope to replace for a BT dagger ring in the future. We'll see how that comes. Then this one as well, I do hope to replace with a BT dagger ring as well, if that's possible. Let's see what the future brings. This thing is still pretty OP, though it is now semi-rare or not as important, not as good in people's eyes. I still believe that this is one of the best rings you can have in the game. At least till you get BT items, and even there they do start at 900, so it's pretty much on par with a low base BT one, if that makes sense in your eyes. If not, then I'm sorry. But one thing I did like about this charm a lot is that it adds attack and dexterity, as well as Shadow Strike damage, because as I said, let's take a look at my Shadow Strike. I just did my skills completely new basically. So if we take a look at my Shadow Strike, it is now at 47, and it's giving you 4,995 damage, poison damage, which is really bad because my stuff's not dexterity based, but it's also pretty good on the other side. Because on top of that is going to be the 600 from the charm, as well as the I think it's 400 or 300 from the offhand. 400 from the offhand. So it means it's about 5k. And then something which a lot of people ask me about in the comments and on PMs and whatever is why my skills are not maxed out. Right, let's take a look at sneaky attack here. Look, my sneaky is not maxed out, that's 38. So it even is at 30 base, and now Wizard with rings and skills from the armor, it's at 38. Now let's take a look. If I do equip this ring, you can see it's at 50. That's what a lot of endgame players do, and which is basically required nowadays. Same with I do the same with quick strike, which is basically required nowadays, just like I said, to really be endgame worthy, I guess. It really boosts your damage stats, overall stuff, and it's just great to have these because these also do add damage, which you will see here. And now I'm gonna go farm some BT pots for the next few BTs. I think I have about 30 left. Yeah, 30 pots left. I want to get 100 plus pots again because it was cool, but I did give away some to the clan last BT raid, which is something you should do if you're in a clan, just to give something back, because people are usually really nice to you as well. By the way, for those of you who do not know how your chiefs and generals always get these potions, that is pretty simple. They're just gonna kill the serrated vines over here, and then they just hand in the quest at the local laystone next to it. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys liked this video, and as always, leave a comment down below if you did. If you don't did it, or if you do have criticism or whatever, leave me a comment down below. I do care about that stuff, and I read them always and try to reply them. And if I read them and found them funny or nice or friendly or whatever, I will most likely heart them with a heart, because that's how you give love, boys. That being said, see you guys in the next one, and as always, stay cool, stay golden, and do what your government tells you to avoid a corona infection, boys.